this is Carrie with CR2F.
And Cleona, her daughter.
And what are we going to paint today?
We're going to be painting
unicorns! So if you look on my website, there's an outline. Here it is on my iPad. This is how I traced it. I just put a piece of paper over that and made my room dark. And then I have an outline. And another way to do it is to print out this design, and you can print out a piece of paper, put it behind your watercolor and hold it up to a window, a bright window. You can also, if you have a laptop or a computer monitor, you can hold it up to that in a dark room. And then you can also just freehand it. So lots of options there. But what you don't want to do is print it out and use non-watercolor paper because it won't work. And so, like I said, I use a Sharpie pen. I'll send a link to those too on the site. They are great because if you draw with them and then paint, they don't bleed. And we could have used pencil too, but we decided that we kind of wanted the outline to be a part of the finished work. And then also, before I forget, Cleona, what do you always like to tell them to subscribe to?
Well, my mom's channel.
Yep. And then I also wanted to mention that that if you're interested, so these tutorials are definitely free, but if you're interested, one option that you can do to thank me for doing them is on my blog. There's a link to my website, a link to my PayPal, a link to my Venmo. If you aren't inclined, you can, or are inclined to do that, you can also help by sharing the posts, sharing what images that you've painted, looking at my Etsy shop, favoriting things there, following my Instagram. There are lots of ways to show that you appreciate them that can or cannot involve financial investment in it. So yeah, so if you're willing to do that, that would be awesome. And then we want to talk about the paints.
And also, if you get paint somewhere that you didn't use this, so pretend that he accidentally splashed paint Mom's, I would wipe it off.
Yeah, so this is a Secure Koi, I think is how you say it, pen, and it's pretty handy. I'll definitely link to that too.
Koi coloring brush pen.
Yeah. All right, well, I think it's time to get painting.
Yep.
Let's make sure it recorded. Want to.
I'm gonna use this one. It's a little
They're metallic, is the word.
It looks a little glittery to me, so I'm like a little shimmery, kind of glittery to me. So I'm gonna use it on the unicorn because unicorns really are nice and they look really cool, and that's why I decided that we should do unicorns. My brother is going to be in another tutorial, just him and my mom. This one's
with
just
turtles.
Yeah, turtles. They're going to be turtles. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up.
So, and I want to tell you too, so these are, I'm going to do a rainbow unicorn, but if your favorite colors are blue and green, you could do blue and green hair. You can accent your unicorn however you want. Your unicorn can have a fun earring or no eyelashes or an open eyeball or make a smirk. You have lots of options here. You could make an evil unicorn if you wanted to. Like, you can do a robot unicorn. I don't know. Do whatever you feel like.
If you haven't seen our robot video.
Oh yeah, that one's pretty fun.
Well, you could try and do a robot unicorn. It's a unicorn.
Oh,
robot.
yeah.
If you haven't seen that, go and watch it.
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
hey,
please
be really careful with that little brush, okay? That's a really nice brush.
Okay,
let's get this to open. Oh, is it taped? These are new paints. I didn't go get them. Well, obviously I bought them at some point. I found them in our house and I said, those will be neat to play with, but let's see if we can get them to open without breaking.
Oh, and you guys, if you have any trouble, you can use this coloring brush pen. And it'll help you erase parts that you didn't mean to draw if it was.
There we go.
If it didn't come out right. So
Here we go.
say if you need to use it after it's dry. like the paint dries. So say he started to paint and I got out of the outline. Well, I would wait for it to dry, then I would use this. If you have any troubles, use the coloring brush pen.
Yeah, there are other ways to deal with that too, but this is always good for stubborn little mistakes. It's kind of magical.
Yeah,
okay,
like
so let's get
unicorns
started.
are magical, but some they're not real. But I believe that they are. It's like Uni the unicorn.
Like Uni the unicorn.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not gonna paint the body of the unicorn. A lot of times in watercolor, we don't actually use the white. I might at the end use some of Cleona's glittery metallic and some of my white and just go over it so it has some sheen to it. But I'm actually gonna start with the hair.
Oh.
And oops, whoa, okay.
And you guys, you do your big, then do your medium, then do your small. You want to get all the big details like the body and the hair.
All right.
And anything that you made really big, you want to get that. And
All right.
Then you wanna,
Can I start with it? Okay. So the first thing to do is make sure that your brush is really wet. I'm going to use the Prima Brights and the Prima Classic Jane Davenport Brights, and I might use, I'm kind of digging the Currents set that you might have seen in some of the other tutorials. So between the three of those, I'm going to get my preferred colors. I'm going to do the hair rainbow, and I'm going to do it rainbow order, but I'm going to start, I think I'm going to start with blue. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to do this one with more drops of color. I'm going to take my water and just put a little bit on this hair at the top. If you want to, if it's hard for you to see where you put it, you could put a little color in your brush first. I didn't, but I totally could have. And then I'm going to get just a little bit of this tealy blue. I'm going to try and do it, like I said, more with drops. Oh, I forgot to drop water on my colors. Oh, you remembered? Good job.
But I literally just, whenever I want to use a color, I just get my brush, I get it wet, then I drop the color on, and then I use it whenever I want it. It's a good pattern to have because it would be easier. So then if you don't want a color on it, you don't have to use it. You just put it the wet on the one you want, and then boom. Okay,
can I keep going, please?
Yep.
Okay, so, and at full disclosure, we have a pizza in the oven right now, and so if you hear me have to tell Alexa to stop, hopefully shouldn't hear that. That's why. Okay, so I'm going to do blue, and I'm going to go to green and then yellow.
When we don't want her. Like, we don't want her to say it.
A is what we would call her, but actually, I just forgot and said her name. This happens to people all the time. I'm sure that there are some parents watching this nodding and saying, oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, if you have an Alexa, they're really cool. Well,
okay, so we're not going to...
of the day on that.
Yeah. All right. So what I did next was I got some of my green, and I just blended it in. And I'm purposefully using a few different shades of each color here just to give it a little variety. And I'm even pulling a little up so that these, really, this is all one main, right? And you'll see I got a little out of the lines. That's okay. I can either embrace it and just pull everything out, right? Or I can use my blending pen later, but I try to use that sparingly. You have to be really gentle with it too. It can damage the paper if you are not careful. So I did that green. I think I'm gonna do, I have a color that's kind of a yellow green, and so I'm gonna add a little of that as well, just for fun, because I like it, and pull some of that green. Watercolor is cool because you can just pull paint up and down and get it where you want it to go. And so then, that was crazy. The wind, it was George upstairs. I thought the wind was blowing really hard. Okay, so then we're gonna go to yellow, and if you wanted to instead, so I'm doing all the hair like this, but you could also do like one of these curls or swoops a color, and then the next one a color, and the next one a color, but I kind of wanted her to have a cool ombre. Mine I'm going to refer to as a girl, but that doesn't mean that yours needs to be a girl.
It can be a boy, it could be a girl. You could also do a spaceship unicorn, like a unicorn and a spaceship. We did a spaceship one. I have mine over there. Oh, and also some of our friends, which we FaceTimed yesterday, we saw their robots that they made.
Weren't they cool?
Yeah, a lot. And I also showed them our spaceship ships. If you haven't seen it, go see that. It's really cool.
Yeah, we had fun making those spaceships.
Yeah, I really liked it. I like mine. You know, a lot of them I complimented my mom on when she was making them.
Yep, she enjoyed them. All right, so now I'm going to move on to some pink. And even if, you know, I'm kind of winging this, right? Like I'm not sure how I didn't plan out how all the colors are going to be. If I had wanted to do the individual pieces, like I was saying earlier, I would have had to be more intentional and make sure that, hey, I love your humming, but would you, thank you. But I would have had to be more intentional about when I switched to each color. And if you wanted to do each piece separately, you might paint this lock and this lock and this lock and then come back, so that you didn't end up with blending if you didn't want it. Because again, if, you know, paint separate doesn't blend into one another, but as soon as I connect it with some water.
Blending is really cool, you guys.
It really is.
I'm trying to like get some blend in some of mine. Some of them I didn't even know had blend. Then they got blend.
Yep. Watercolor is pretty cool if you let it do what it wants to. Okay.
Just like I'm just adding teeny dots on the wet spots, and then I'm just letting it do whatever it wants. Like it's really cool to have blend. If tell us if you like blend. It's really cool.
So let me tell them, Cleona. So one thing that I'm doing right now is you don't have to be super literal about rainbows if you don't want to. So one of the things that I'm doing is I'm skipping over actual red in favor of a dark pink. This Jane Davenport set has some colors that are reddish without being actual red. I just thought it wouldn't be right for the blending. So I'm trying to get into purple, and I'm going through more of a magenta color. And I am stopping my unicorn right about here. You could paint it all the way to the edge if you wanted to. That would be up to you. Looks like
commercial. Take one.
George is doing a commercial. Okay.
Funny. We have a food truck back there, and it's really cool.
Yeah. And then, okay, so now I'm going to come in with some purple. Cleona, how you doing over there? You got it. Keep going. And I haven't been doing as much color dropping, but that hasn't really been intentional. So I'm going to add a little bit more in places just.
Good, stop.
Okay, so we're going to keep going. Sorry, we had a little distraction there. Here's my paintbrush. Okay, so I'm going to keep going with these colors, and I want to get to blue. And for what I'm doing, I want to get to the tiniest bit of teal right here. Because I want to show that it's a repeating pattern. You don't have to do that, but you can.
Mom, this looks really, really cool.
Thank you. I'm having fun with it.
It's rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
We'll
hold on.
need it to dry.
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure that you all see that. I'm sorry to interrupt, Cleona, but the blue I put on initially, if you caught that, was really dark. So instead of adding color or anything else, I went and dabbed off my brush and got some water to pull the color. See, that blue pigment is still pretty strong. So instead of adding any more, another strategy would be to get a paper towel and blot it, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm sorry, I cut you off there. What were you going to say? Okay, sorry.
It was that sometimes paint could be tricky, but don't let it get to you that it can be. It's just part of the fun. You can have it blend like like, if you want it to blend, it's fine. Last night we were hearing the Indigo Girls.
Oh yeah, Cleona was saying how we watched the Indigo Girls concert when they did the live one on Facebook.
Yeah, I did some of the hearts for her because she really likes the Indigo Girls, and I
do.
knew that she would probably want heart.
Totally.
So
to tell them that we enjoyed their concert.
Yeah.
It was pretty neat.
Yeah,
Their
I did a lot.
social distancing concert. Okay, so I need to pick a color for the. Oops, I forgot. Do you see the pink pen that I used? Well, that's okay. I can't find it, so I am gonna. I wanted little stripes on the horn. So I'm gonna put them in. And you know what? I see that mine bled a little more than I wanted it to.
It's fine. Oh, and you guys, if it bleeds a little, like it goes through, then all you have to do is use it. Okay.
Well, and you know, so there's still a little left. So what I think I'm gonna do, I'm just not gonna worry about it. I was thinking about adding a little earpiece in there, but I'm not gonna. Yeah, is yours totally dry? If it's not dry, oh, okay, yep, perfect. Alexa, timer off. I have 4 more minutes, but okay. So the other thing I wanna do is paint the end here, and I don't wanna do it rainbow because I think that's kind of confusing. I don't think that you would have that. So I really like yellow. So we're gonna do a yellow nose here. Maybe I'll do yellow and orange just so it can have, but you know what? No, I think I like yellow all by itself. So I'm just gonna fill it in. Oh, I do want the blend. Okay, so there we go. And it's okay if it goes outside. It's kind of almost like it's glowing, right?
Oh, and you guys, if you want the blend, but you can't get blend because the thing you already want is dry, just get your paintbrush, dip it in, then put some wet on it. The water will either come dripping down, or you have to just put the paintbrush on it. That's what I did when I wanted to, and yeah, so
I changed my mind on this, and I decided I did want it to have some rainbow to it. I just wanted it to be a little more subtle than over here. And since I did the yellow, and this is where it was yellow here, I decided to just go with it, which means, so I think because I have metallic paint available to me, I'm gonna do the horn like that. I'm gonna let everything go, and I'm gonna let Cleona paint a little bit more, and maybe she'll tell you more about what she's doing while I get the pizza out of the oven. I'll be right back.
So what I'm doing, I'm not as far as my mom, but this is how far I've gotten. And I think it looks really cool. I am about to use a color for the horn. I mean the like the mouth part. Or do you think? I think that I should use a blue, or because I think that would look really good. When I was coming, I just noticed this. When I was coming over with this, in a big splotch right there, it went down, and it was like strange.
All right, let's finish up with the tutorial here. So pizza's out of the oven. Keeping it real over here. I'm gonna get one of my bigger brushes, but maybe you.
Yours looks really cool.
Thank you. Like I said, I wanted to get some of Cleona's metallic paint. And yeah, so I got some metallic white, and I'm actually gonna find some of my palette that isn't dirty, and I'm gonna mix some of the metallic white from Cleona. I might get a little bit more. And you know what? You could make your unicorn not white. This is all, you got lots of options. And I'm getting some of the white paint just to help me spread it a little bit more from my classics set. And then I'm gonna make sure it's really dilute, because my goal is not to make it look super different. I just wanted to give her a little bit of sheen. So we'll see if that's even able to be picked up well. And I'm gonna start over on, like I'm gonna kind of do the middle and get along here first and get right here and right here last, because those those spots are still a little wet from when I painted. I'm gonna just go over, this is part of why I use the Sharpie marker, is because you can just go over it. And you'll notice that this is a real subtle thing. I'm not, doing a lot, but if you want your unicorn to be purple, that's okay. And do it. And then I got a little bit over here on accident, and you'll see some of this wasn't totally dry because I caught...
Me and my brother are on communication.
You are.
So, my teacher sent me home with some stuff, even my book from school. And I miss my teacher because...
Miss Seligman.
Yeah, Miss Seligman, my teacher.
We love you, Miss Seligman.
Yeah. So I really want you guys is to learn from us from the painting that we do. And so yeah.
All right, well, so I've got her whole body done, and I'm painting beyond my outline because when I'm done, if I wanted to frame this is a 9x12 piece of paper, but 8x10 is really a common size. So yeah, and what color horn do you think I should do, Cleona?
How about a blendy one, like a blend?
Well, what 2 colors? What if I did blue and pink so that it kind of made it purple? Kind of continue.
Like a light blue and a light pink, because those go really well together.
So I'm gonna start in the middle, and it's actually gonna kind of switch for me. So I did a little bit of that blue, and now I'm gonna do a little bit of pink.
Oh, you guys, if you didn't see our robot video, I had some blend and I did not even know that it would blend.
Yeah, that was cool.
Go check that out because it's really cool.
You know what I'm gonna
do?
do?
So, and yeah.
I'm gonna give it 3 colors here because it's gonna be like it's striped a little. And I didn't want to have teal next to it. If I thought a little more, I might not have added in the purpley color, but I'm winging it. So, all right, so here we go. And I'm gonna go back to the pink now. And I'm just taking turns to give it a kind of fun.
Oh, you guys, if you don't know this, look in mine right now. This is how mine.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, I'm trying to do a pattern with my kind of reddy pink and my greeny blue.
And that's so that's a fun,
combo-y kind of.
Okay. So that's a fun way to make sure that it doesn't look like too much chaos, right? Is to make sure that you, like if you do some type of a pattern with whatever it is that you're painting, even if you're switching it up. I kind of like how down here I've gotten some cool little blooms and the way that the colors have blended together. And I'm gonna call my unicorn done. I could do the background if I wanted. Oh, now I kind of want to put swirls in the background. What do you say?
So, you guys, if you haven't seen me in the other video, the rocket ship video, I went and...
Ooh, no, I'm going to do stars.
I did some stars. If you didn't know, you go up and down like a triangle, then you go to the side, then you go straight, then you go down. Yeah. If you were ever wondering, I'm going to do some stars around my
So I'm doing little asterisks, and I'm doing...
my little brush.
So I'm using the colors that I already used to kind of reinforce them, and I'm making sure that I don't put them in the same place all the time. And I know Cleona just explained to you how to make a star, and I'm doing asterisks because I think that they're really playful looking, and I like drawing stars, but they can be a little hard to do as consistently.
Yeah, but that one was a little easy, right?
Yeah, and but you could do dots if you wanted. You could do
Dots,
hearts.
Anything you want.
You could do baby robots.
Yeah, anything you want. You could even do stuff falling out of the sky if you want.
Yeah, we've been watching Lego Masters, and last night we saw their one where somebody, what was it? Disco chickens with toupees.
Disco chickens with toupees.
That was pretty funny.
Oh, and they got and one of them.
Oh, don't tell them who isn't there anymore. They may not have watched it yet.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
That's called a spoiler.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna tell them that. I'm gonna say, there was 2 teams that were really good. That the Brickmasters, Amy and Jamie, did, and
we are big Lego fans in this house.
Yeah, I love Lego.
I think it loves you too, honey. Yeah. All right, and so for continuity's sake, I'm gonna make sure that I add in a few purple stars just because I've hit all of the other options. So, all right, and then when I'm done with these, I'm gonna let Cleona finish painting while I cut up the pizza and some watermelon and carrots and bell peppers. Sound good?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Carrots, bell peppers. Mom, I'm just like trying to get a little blend right here. Like I'm trying to get a little blend. If you haven't noticed, I really like blend. I haven't said that yet, but I really like it.
Yeah. All right. Anywhere else need a star, Cleona?
Maybe like...
Oh, I see like 2 holes.
Yeah. Maybe like, there. And
corners.
Then, yeah.
All right.
And maybe right there.
Okay, and I think one right there too. I'm gonna do that one in yellow.
Guys, here's another way you could do a star. You could do it like, to the side, there. Like you can do an X, then a straight line across, if you want.
All right, so I am done. Look, I made a fun unicorn.
Yep.
All right.
This is really